Hello, hello, hello. This is Rose Love, and welcome to my podcast. The title is Healing Pieces of Me I Didn't Know Was Broken. A podcast all about sometimes we carry feelings inside of us that we didn't know we carry. Feelings we bury so deep we forgot about and didn't know we was carrying. To keep up to date with what's coming up, be sure to follow my podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get straight into it. Healing pieces of me I didn't know was broken is what I'm talking about today. Sometimes we carry feelings inside of us that we didn't even know we carry. Like how someone made us feel, like hurt, disappointment, betrayal, feelings that got buried and pushed aside and forgotten about. And one day, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, one word, one action causes that feeling to come flooding back. Feelings we buried so deep we forgot about. We didn't know we was carrying. Cuts, wounds we received years ago to our heart that all of a sudden feel like they are bleeding again. Now, when we have feelings and emotions that come flooding back from our past, they come from memories of things that has happened to us in our past that was hurt us or dramatic in some kind of way or disappoint us in some kind of way. And in that time that it happened, you don't have time to process it. You don't have time to deal with it, or you didn't process it. That you forgot about it and buried it and just tucked it aside. Then all of a sudden, years later, it comes flooding back to your memory. Oh my God. This happened, that happened. That memory come back. And when that memory comes back, it comes back with feelings and emotions. Now, it doesn't really matter what age you are. For most of us, we got memories that goes all the way back to the age of 3. Some people say they can remember even further back than that. But for the most part, a lot of us have memories that come from way back when we was infants. So the experience that you went through or the memory you have that's causing these dramatic feelings and emotions within you, these things could have happened to you at any age. It could have happened to you when you was 5. It could and it could have happened to you in your teens. It could have happened to you any time in your life. And then it was dramatic. It hurt you. It made an impact on your life, and you did not deal with it then. You didn't deal with it then for different reasons. And these were things that was dramatic, and then all of a sudden, it come back to your remembrance. I just alone this year have 2 things that I totally forgot about came back to my remembrance, and each one of them upset me, and each one of them made me cry. And I totally forgot about those things, but the thing that happened to me, the memory that came back was so dramatic. When it did come back to my memory, I cried. Because for the first time in my life, I addressed it. I didn't address it then because I was so young. One happened to me when I was 14, and the other one happened to me when I was 17. And that's over 30 years ago. And I remember her that is coming back flooding to me now into my memory bank, and I'm reliving it. And just alone when those memories came back, I kind of thought to myself, wow, I forgot about that. I had forgot that happened to me years ago. And how dramatic it was. And I even thought to myself, why am I thinking about this? Why did this just pop up? And then all of a sudden, I told myself, you could either process it now and think about this for a minute or move on. And I chose to just process it and think about it. The first dramatic thing that came up this year. And when I thought about it and played it all out in my head, I started to cry. I started to sob uncontrollably. Because for the first time I processed it. And that's when I realized I was upset. What that person said and what that person done that day really upset me. And I cried because it came from a place I didn't think it was going to come from. And the second thing, when it came up, I processed it and I started to cry. And I thought the very same thing that I thought about the first thing that came up. This really upset me. So there are so many people walking around right now that has broken pieces, that has influenced their life in the direction that they was going to go, that changed the direction they was going to go in their life, that made them go a whole nother direction in their life because of that dramatic experience that they chose to bury or they chose to push aside. Because broken pieces can affect all of us in different ways. Some broken pieces can cause you to change direction in your life and feel like that's the direction I need to go, when that is the direction God has for you. So broken pieces, when they come back up, affect all of us differently, and we can choose to process. I process it another time. Now let's move on, because I want to not be here all day. A lot of times we start to confront the broken pieces of our past. We begin to realize those broken pieces come from someone that we love or someone we trust. Oh my God, that is really deep. That when I came to that little nugget, when I was revisiting old pieces, and I got to thinking, I said, these old broken pieces from my past, I got to realizing that came from people I loved. And I got to realizing that's why it hurt my heart so deep. And that's why it was such a big broken piece. And that's why it was buried and pushed aside. It came from a lot of time people we love. It come from a place of love, from a place of love that was supposed to be love, people that were supposed to love us. And all of a sudden they do something so dramatic to us. Because when you start to revisit those broken pieces and realize they came from people that were supposed to love you, or a place that you looked at should have been love to you, the ugly things they said, the ugly thing they done, and the ugly place it came from within them. The ugly side of healing from broken pieces is facing the hurt and the pain that it caused. Now, healing isn't pretty. There will be times you need to cry, because things that stabbed you in your heart cut so deep. Now, like I said, let's revisit this again. A lot of time, broken pieces come from people we loved and people that were supposed to love us. And the ugly thing about that is, the thing they did and the thing they said came from an ugly place within them. It came from an ugly place within them. And I think a lot of time that's why broken pieces hurt so much. A lot of times they come from people we love, people we trusted, that disappointed us or hurt us or crushed us in some type of way. Whatever that thing was, whatever it was. And for all of us, Lord knows, some of us got some dramatic broken pieces. Broken pieces. But it's so sad, and it hurts so much when the broken pieces come from people we knew, people that loved us, and people from our past. And then the thing about broken pieces is too, when you go through the healing process, it ain't pretty. The healing process of getting over broken pieces is not always pretty, but it does affect all of us differently. It might affect you one way and then it affect me another way. or that broken piece will. So healing from it and getting over a broken piece is different from everybody. Where you might go to counseling and counseling might work for you, counseling might not work for me. Now, I'm going to tell you what helps me out when I went through the healing process of not just the broken pieces I remember this year, but the broken pieces, other broken pieces over the years that have come up. The one things that have always helped me, gardening. Gardening helps me put my hand in the dirt, put my hand in the soil. Having flowers and plants around me, gardening has helped me. Having an animal. I had a little dog named Sugar at the time of my life when I was going through something. And she helped me through a lot of that. Just having that little emotional support from a little animal helped me also. Exercise. I learned that when I got outside, walked, exercised, and went out in nature, I felt better. It boosted me and it helped me through a lot of the broken pieces by just giving me realization through those type things. Exercise, gardening, having a small animals around me. But the most important thing also was prayer, because I am a Christian and prayer worked for me. I pray a lot. I talk to God a lot. Everything that bothered me, I couldn't confide in anyone else. I couldn't tell anyone else. I would go straight to God and I would talk to him. I would go through nature walk and have my conversations with God. That got me through mine, because healing is not pretty. Even the broken pieces in our life that we remember all the time, that pop up all the time, it's hard to heal from. Those broken pieces. Then you have those broken pieces that you're dealing with too, that always pops up. You never forget about it. It's always like in the back of your mind. But today we only talk about the broken pieces that we forgot about. Because I was kind of shocked that things can come from your past that you had no clue was even affecting you, or had affected you so dramatically, because it was forgotten about and pushed aside, And like I said, there will be times you have to cry. You will. There are times you have to go through emotion. And then there's times too when people go through different, you have to go to I'm going to mention this too, for a lot of people going to therapy and seeing a psychologist. Someone you can sit down, a therapist, someone you can talk to and release things on to. That's another thing. Like I said, for each person is different. I had friends who called me and tell me that some of the dramatic things they went through in their past, once they went and talked to someone and had therapy, it helped them to get through that dramatic thing that they was going through in their life. Now, me speaking from the point of view of most women, most of us women are emotional human beings. We are very much, most part in touch with our feelings, right? So us as women, we tend to feel everything. But there are times when we are hurt, that we push our feelings aside because of our busy lives. Most of us women are wives, mothers, and so many other things to other people. A lot of times we bury our feelings and emotions and push them aside and not dealing with what someone said or how someone made us feel. Now, speaking from a woman's perspective, a lot of time, us women, like I said, we are wives, mothers, and we are so many things to so many people. Two, a lot of things we go through within our marriages, our relationships, and people around us gets buried because we live busy lives. That is one way. Broken pieces, things that have hurt us, disappointed us, or cause hurt, a disappointment, or some type of dramatic experience can get buried for a lot of us women. Because for a lot of us mothers, wives, and whoever we are to the people around us. We live busy lives. And there are times when things happen to us, we will suppress it. We push it aside. I don't have time to slow down and deal with that pain or that thing that he just said or she just said, because I'm in the middle of trying to go back and forth to work. I'm in the middle of trying to get these kids out of the bed, get them to school. I have to take care of my husband, make sure things is lined up for him, and not only for them, myself as well. So we tend to push things aside as women. And me being a woman, that's another thing I dealt with too, because when I went through my divorce and I was in the middle of marriage and all those things, there was a lot of things that happened that I didn't process because I was busy all the time. Things that caused this and that to happen and why we had to separate. I was in the middle of working and doing other things in my life. I didn't have time to process it till later. I didn't. And then later on, all of a sudden, those little things popped back up. Things started to come back up to me that I had forgot about, that was said and that was done and that was hurtful. And then all of a sudden, later on, much later on in life, those things pop back up. And all of a sudden, when they pop back up, I was dealing with what he said and what he done and the way he done it and the way he said it. Things I forgot about. I didn't even know they hurt me. I didn't know. I thought I was over it when it was said and done. We had moved on. But it still affected me in some type of way. Being a woman, not able to address that issue then. I had the kids. I had getting them off to school, working, getting them back home, feeding them, putting them to bed, then the little details with my husband. At the time, I didn't process the things that was hurting me within that relationship. Then years later, they come flooding back. I must say, when those memories and those feelings and emotions of broken pieces come flooding back, it didn't affect me that much. But it's amazing. I thought to myself how I forgot how it affected me in the moment. But those are things I had forgot about. And I did process them because it did come from a place and someone that I did love. And this was someone I loved. Also, and the sad part about it all is so many people are walking around holding pain we have never processed. Never processed. People can hurt you when you're in the busiest season of your life and you don't have time to process what they done or said that hurt you. But it hurt like hell what they said and done. Like I said, now for me as a woman, there was a lot of things said and done to me in my past I didn't have time to process. It happened in the busiest season of my life. And if most people look back at when they was hurt, disappointed, at the memories from their past and the things that happened to them that caused those broken pieces. Now, if they look back, they could obviously be able to tell them a lot of times, be able to tell a lot of times when we go through these dramatic experiences in our life, they're in the busiest season of our life. And during that time, we're so busy in that season, we don't have time to process it. And if you look back, for a lot of us, that's why we didn't process it, because it was in the busiest season of our lives. We didn't have time to slow down and say, okay, let me process that. Let me handle that. No, we had to keep rolling. It was like you had to keep moving. I got to get these kids, like I said before, getting your kids to school. You got to be on work on time. That's a schedule you trying to keep up with, and being disappointed over what someone said and what someone done in the moment wasn't important. It was like, I ain't got time for you. I ain't got time for what you said. I ain't got time for what you done, okay? I ain't got time. It's not funny, but it's funny how I just said that was funny. But I don't have time. We don't have time. We kind of suppresses it and puts it back. I don't have time to stop and worry about what you just said, what you just done. I got to do this. I got to do that. We live busy lives. And then later on for me, when my life slowed down, that's when it all came back up before me, because I am the type of person, I'm busy. And it's going to get pushed back, suppressed, a lot of things for me. Not just broken pieces. There was a lot of things got pushed back because I was living a busy life. But living a busy life and going all the time, so many things get pushed back that we don't think about, we don't process, because the next thing is busy coming up before us. Then what's the next thing we got to do for ourselves and for others? Even the things that they said and done stabbed us in the heart. It could be stabbing us in the heart, stabbing us in the back. But we live a life that is so busy most of the time, we don't have time to stop and process the stab. How when that person stabbed us in the back and stabbed us in our heart, how it affected us. We don't even have time to slow down for that. And that become broken pieces that's revisiting you. That is so deep. That's real deep. I didn't even think of it like that. That is really deep. Now, for me, like I said, this year I had 2 broken pieces, things that happened in my past that caused dramatic experiences in my past to come back before me this very year, right? And I'm not a crybaby. I'm not the type of person that cries over everything. I'm one of the strongest people you're going to meet. I don't cry about much. I don't get emotional about nothing. I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm pretty much a strong woman. But for some reason this year, when those 2 broken pieces came back before me, I cried. I cried from the hurt and the pain of those broken pieces, where they came from and who they came from, and how ugly the broken pieces were, until I cried. And so by me stopping to think about those broken pieces caused me to break down. And I think the reason why it made me cry was because after all these years, I had no idea that it hurt me so bad. And looking for where it come from broke me down. Now, but once I cried about it, processed it, and got over it, I released it. I released it and let it go. And but I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I don't have much more I want to say on the topic of broken pieces. And I brought this video because I've had broken pieces from my past that I totally forgot about. And never thought about anymore. And now, years later, here they are. And here I am crying and dealing with the emotions that I didn't deal with then at the moment it happened. Because they came from a place where I thought love should have been. You know? But to all of you, like I said, healing from broken pieces is not easy. It's not something that for a lot of people. No, let me say that again. Let me change that. Broken pieces for everyone is different. People heal from it differently. People process it differently. For some, they think about it. They don't throw it out of their mind. They're not going to think about it no more. It's gone. I don't have time for it. And it's gone. Some, it popped back up. And those emotional things attached to it still hurt. And it still sting. But for the most part, pushed aside and they go on. And then you have those dramatic things that happen to you in your past. That comes up. And when it come up, it affects you in a big way. And you have to get help. And you have to talk to someone about it once it come back up. But in the healing process, sometimes, like I say, some people cast it on mind, they're done, they're over it. Then there's others, it takes time. But I am about to bring this podcast to an end of healing things in me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on just a minute. Let me get to this title. I done said on how many times. Healing pieces of me I didn't know was broken. Now, I always end my podcast with love you, brothers and sisters. To each and every one of you, I don't care what race you are, what part of the country you're in, you still my brother and you still my sister. So God bless you, brothers and sisters, and have a beautiful one, a beautiful one. And like I said in the beginning of this podcast, to keep up to date with what's coming up, be sure to follow my podcast because I got a lot of good stuff to come. Love you. Bye.